Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Gary Neville admits £50 million Arsenal player has proven him wrong this season. Speaking on Sky Sports, Neville admitted that he was unsure about White's ability to play as a right back, but the Manchester United legend feels the Englishman has proven him wrong this season, claiming White has performed at a similar level to former Chelsea stars as Belquata and Ivanovic. He said the following: "It was either Ben White or Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I just felt with the way that Arsenal defended. I wasn't sure about White previously. He fell in between. Is he half a right back and half a centre back? That was my view of Ben White. I wasn't sure what he was, but he has developed into a really good right back. I think of him now as the same sort of quality this season for one season of how Ivanovic and Azpilicueta were for Chelsea for many years. I think he has done really well there and he deserves to be in. White has formed part of a formidable backline at Arsenal this season, with Arteta's men conceding just 28 goals in 37 games. The 26-year-old has helped them keep 18 clean sheets in the league while also providing quality in the final third. Indeed, the £50 million man has scored 4 times and registered 5 assists from right back in all competitions. White has also reportedly played through an injury this season, making his performances all the more impressive. Arteta raised eyebrows when he moved White out to the right back at the start of last season, but the former Brighton man has developed into one of the best in the league in his new position. Arsenal ace lacking personality to play for the club and likely to seal a transfer away. Arsenal expert Charles Watts can't see Albert Sambi Lokonga having it in him to come back and fight for his place at the Emirates Stadium, despite his impressive form out on loan at Luton Town this season. The 24-year-old has looked greatly improved since joining Luton on loan, impressing in the Premier League after getting the chance to play more regularly, though it seems Watts still has his doubts about the Belgian. Speaking exclusively to Cout of Sight for his latest daily briefing column, Watts explained that Lokonga looks like someone lacking the personality to play for a big club like Arsenal, and it might be that the reduced pressure at somewhere like Luton has allowed him to enjoy his football a bit more. Watts thinks Lokonga is a talented player, but he still doubts there is room for him in Mikel Arteta's squad, particularly after the recent news of Jorginho signing a new contract to remain in North London for another year. Arsenal very interested in €60 million rated attacker with 24 goal contributions this season. Arsenal are interested in signing the Paris Saint-Germain attacker Xavi Simons at the end of the season. According to a report from the Spanish publication Sport, Arsenal are very interested in the 21-year-old attacker and they will face competition from German giants Bayern Munich. Simons has been outstanding for RB Leipzig during his loan spell in the Bundesliga this season, and he has 9 goals and 15 assists to his name in all competitions. He is versatile enough to operate as the central attacking midfielder as well as a winger on either flank. His versatility will be an added bonus if the Gunners manage to sign him. The report states that PSG would be willing to sell him for €60 million, and it remains to be seen whether Arsenal are ready to break the bank for him. They have not been able to rotate key players like Bukayo Saka, Martinelli and Martin Odegaard quite often due to the lack of depth in the squad. Someone like Simons could be a backup option to all three players, and it remains to be seen whether the Gunners are ready to sign him this summer. They will need more quality in the final third if they want to compete with the clubs like Manchester City on a regular basis. Adding more depth to the squad should be a top priority for them heading into the summer transfer window, and Simons would be a quality long term investment for them. The 21-year-old Dutchman has the quality to develop into a top class Premier League attacker, and he could justify the €60 million investment in the coming seasons. Meanwhile, the opportunity to join big clubs like Arsenal and Bayern Munich will be quite tempting for him. David Seaman says £30 million Everton player won't sign for Arsenal now. Speaking on the Seaman Says podcast, David Seaman has been discussing the idea of Arsenal signing a new goalkeeper, and he made a claim about Jordan Pickford. The Everton goalkeeper has been one of the best in the league this season, and there was some discussion on the podcast about Pickford joining Arsenal. However, Seaman was quick to shoot down that speculation, claiming that he can't see Pickford joining Arsenal to play second fiddle. Seaman spoke about the England goalkeeper. He said the following: I can't see Jordan coming in as a number two. I can't see that at all. England's number one is a number two. I can't see any sense in that at all for Jordan as well. If you were signing Jordan, why would you let Aaron go? Seaman is probably right. Pickford isn't likely to join Arsenal this summer, but if he did, there is a strong argument to make that he would start over David Raya. In terms of shot stopping ability, Pickford is probably better than Raya. While he is much more commanding and vocal at the back on the ball, there isn't much to split the two, and Mikel Arteta would have a difficult decision to make if the £30 million Everton star joined Arsenal. That said, Arsenal have no reason to sign a goalkeeper of this ilk this summer. Raya has been brilliant this season, and they need a more traditional understudy next term rather than a goalkeeper who will compete for a starting spot. Pickford to Arsenal isn't on the cards this summer, that's for sure. Arsenal have now made a bid to sign a world-class player this summer. According to Toto Juve, Arsenal have now opened the bidding to sign Martin Zubimendi. This report states that Arsenal have made a formal proposal worth €50 million for the player's signature. Zubimendi has a €60 million release clause in his contract, but it would appear Arsenal are trying to get something of a discount on the Spaniard. Tutto Juve report this story as Juventus are also keen, and this opening offer from Arsenal could spark a bidding war. Arsenal have opened the bidding in the race to sign Zubimendi, but this deal still won't be easy to do. Indeed, Zubimendi has remained fiercely loyal to Real Sociedad over the years, and as a local lad, he may yet opt to stay. However, given Mikel Arteta's own links to Real Sociedad, Arsenal are hoping that their manager can sway the midfielder plans, as per Dina Jones. Jones said the following: Yeah, he is taking some persuading. The only thing Arsenal are hoping for right now, he is at Real Sociedad. Mikel Arteta used to play for Real Sociedad. He is from San Sebastian. They are hoping he can convince him. This opening offer shows Arsenal's commitment to pushing this deal through, and while it remains to be seen if this bid is accepted, Arsenal are only €10 million away from triggering the player's release clause. So there is a way for the Gunners to skip this tedious club-to-club negotiations should they wish to. This is certainly a situation to keep an eye on. £120 million Arsenal target spotted having lengthy discussions with the club chairman. Arsenal have been linked with a £120 million move for a Newcastle United forward Alexander Isak, and on Saturday he was spotted holding talks with the club chairman Yasser Al-Rumayyan, according to the Mirror. Following Newcastle's 1-1 draw with Brighton on Saturday, the 24-year-old, who has scored 24 goals this season, had a lengthy discussion with Al-Rumayyan. Isak's family were thought to be present in the talks, though there is no confirmation if it was transfer-related. It took place on the James Park pitch as players and their families thanked the Newcastle faithful for their support in a lap of appreciation. Newcastle have been pushing back on rumors of Isak's departure for weeks now, as the club are insistent on not selling any of their prized asset. including Anthony Gordon, who has been linked with Liverpool. Unless the Gunners are prepared to outlay an eye-watering amount on the Sweden international, likely a British transfer record, it seems he will be remaining on Tynneside. Benjamin Sesko has been unmuted, as has Joshua Zirkzee, so they seem the more viable options at this stage. Arsenal have made contact with the Stars camp over potential £80 million plus transfer, claims expert. Arsenal and Manchester City have made contact with the camp of Newcastle United midfielder Bruno Guimaraes over a potential transfer. That's according to transfer news expert Bennett Jacobs, who says Guimaraes is attracting interest and has a £100 million release clause for part of the summer, but not all of it. Speaking exclusively to Cout Offside for his latest daily briefing column, Jacobs discussed the situation at Newcastle this summer with a long list of potential ins and outs at James Park. Arsenal could do with a top signing in midfield, as Thomas Partey has struggled with injuries in recent times, while Granit Xhaka was never really replaced since his exit last summer. Guimaraes could be perfect after shining during his time with Newcastle, and Jacobs says the Gunners have joined Man City in initiating contact over a potential deal. He said the following: Newcastle also don't want to lose Bruno Guimaraes, but the decision could be taken out of their hands if someone triggers his £100 million release clause, which is valid between late May and the end of June. As long as the clause is active, Newcastle are going to simply point to its value, but it's understood offers exceeding £80 million could be entertained should Guimaraes wish to leave for a Champions League football. It should be stressed, Guimaraes is happy at Newcastle, but it's also true that both Manchester City and Arsenal have made contact with his camp. Manchester City are the most active of the suitors. Arsenal appreciate Guimaraes but have no intention to trigger his clause, meaning they would only enter the race if the price drops. PSG have also considered Guimaraes but decided against moving forward this summer and will instead focus on trying to land Manchester City's Bernardo Silva. Arsenal likely to have considered Barca star would be absolutely perfect signing, says expert. Arsenal are likely to have considered a potential transfer deal for Barcelona midfielder Frankie de Jong, according to Gunners journalist Charles Watts. He said the following: Arsenal's long-standing interest in Martin Zubimendi has always been slightly clouded by the fact it is well known that the midfielder is in no real rush to leave Real Sociedad. He is happy there and he feels at home, as his manager recently stated. That's not to say that he will not leave if someone triggers his release clause this summer, but clubs who are looking at him are well aware that he might take some convincing, so of course Arsenal have other target. When it comes to the midfield, interest in Bruno Guimaraes has emerged, another player who has a release clause, while several other names have been linked. One of those is Frank de Jong at Barcelona, who I think would be absolutely perfect for this Arsenal team. You couldn't really find anyone better suited to come in and help take this team to another level. Mikel Arteta could play him at the base of the midfield, just behind Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, but you could see him rotating with Rice at times, sometimes playing in a more advanced role, with Rice dropping in behind him. It just feels like it would work perfectly, and that De Jong would be the ideal long-term replacement for Thomas Partey. But whilst I'm sure Arsenal would have considered De Jong while looking around at potential new midfielders, his wages would make any move very difficult to get over the line. We know he is on big money in Spain, and he has shown before that he is in no hurry to talk away from that contract he has with Barcelona. It's not a potential transfer I have really heard anything about at this stage, and I would suggest it's one that is unlikely to move beyond the speculation stage, even if I personally would love to see it happen. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out.